We are live. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to HealthierLifeTV. And before we get going, I'm going to hand over to my co-presenter who wants to say something.
I do, really, me. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon and good evening to those of you that are coming here late. Yeah, Paul is correct. I do have something I want to say. Well, you know how it's becoming more and more expensive for us to keep our health up to a level that most of us want to, all right? And medical bills and medical cover prices are increasing all the time. Well, there are some people who have discovered a secret as to how to exponentially increase their health and also do it for free. So this month, January, that is, Paul and I are looking for 6 people to work with, and we want to show you and help you, show you the secret first of all, and then help you for an ongoing basis on how to increase your health, how to increase the longevity. Okay, so yeah, that's it really. 6 people this month with Paul and I. Hey, and we want to work with you. We want to show you the secret as to how you can improve your health exponentially and do it for free. All right, so there we have it. On to the show, young man.
And it's a secret laying in plain sight as well.
It is actually, yes, it is a
Yeah.
secret laying in plain sight. And yeah, very often the most obvious things are the most are hiding in plain sight, and we have the secret to one of those. So yeah.
But when you think about it, most things are. I'm not being funny. We just don't. Personally, we just don't see them. So, okay, on to today's show, as it were. So, how do you relieve stress? Sounds pretty simple. If it was that simple, then people would do it. And there's a lot of people that don't do it. And there's a lot of people suffering from stress. And there are no secrets here. That's the key. It's about taking a little bit of action. Okay, not massive action at all, just a little bit of action to relieve stress. And sometimes it's just the way you look at things that can be the difference. But
True.
one of the big things I find is taking too much on. We don't seem to be able to say no. If you're a people pleaser, like I used to be in the past, then if someone asks you to do something, you go, yeah, of course I'll do it. And then when you think about it after, you think, I really wish I hadn't said yes because I haven't got any time today.
And that's a whole conversation for Wednesday as well.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to say that. So really, it's you can go from having to overcome minor hurdles to major barriers, right? And it's basically the same strategies you can take for everything. It's just that the major barriers cause you more stress, and stress is an ongoing part of our lives. We all face stress. Some people deal with it easily. Some people don't. Some people let it mount up. Some people can release it easily. So I think that it's very important that we work on it all the time, And so what I'm going to do is ask Warren, okay, to have there been stressful situations that have happened for you and you found ways to deal with them? If you could sort of give us an idea of some of the things that you may have had to do.
Yeah. Well, in the past, if I found myself in a stressful situation, I used to become destructive, self-destructive. That is. So I would, in order to relieve the stress, and that was because I didn't know what else to do. Okay, but it alleviated the stress, becoming self-destructive, and I had my own ways of being self-destructive, but that was because emotionally I wasn't equipped to deal with stress, and I didn't know what to do about it. And then I learned more productive and more empowering ways to deal with stress. If I found a stressful situation, thereafter, I would walk away from the situation, which isn't always empowering, but at the same, or not productive, but it is empowering. But it's not always useful to walk away from a stressful situation. And then I evolved to the point where I learned about meditation and about other tools that I've learned along the way on how to diffuse stress and relieve stress from my life. So yeah, I've had many occasions where I've been in a stressful situation and then I've dealt with it in different ways.
Yeah, I think this. See, we're all individuals, and we all run our lives in different ways. Now, there are going to be some similar things that we do, obviously, but whereas a family, I'm just using as an example, a family situation might affect me, it might not affect you.
Yeah.
And you might deal with them easily, not a problem, get on with it, And it does depend what it is, but yeah, I think it's all about circumstances. It's when you're faced with a set of circumstances, do you deal with them okay? You can't control circumstances sometimes. Circumstances can get out of your grasp, get out of your control very, very easily. Now, as you say, Warren, you could walk away. Okay. Or you could sit there and count to 10. You can take some breathing things, do some breathing and release it that way. Or go out for a run.
Or be destructive.
There's lots of different ways you can deal with things, but it's I think part of the challenge is definitely taking on too much, not learning to say no. And I think you do yourself a favor if you can say no, and if you've made a mistake and you can actually say yes, you can always go back and say yes, can't you? So to make things easy early on, you could say no. You know what's in your everyday actions and what you do, whether it fits in or whether it doesn't fit in. Is it going to overwhelm you? Is it going to confuse you? Is another way. So,
a tool on learning how to say no. Something I learned a few years back when I was still working in the corporate or in the in a job environment as a manager. When somebody would come to me and they would ask me to do something for them, I would have two responses to it initially. A, let me have a look at it and I'll make a decision. I very seldom said yes or no on the spot. Initially I did, and then I learned not to, because sometimes I would end up, I'd end up causing myself more damage than if I just made a decision on the spot. So I would say, let me have a look at it and I'll get back to you. Or B, how can you do it? I tried to get the individual or the individuals to figure out a way, how could they solve the problem first, and if they couldn't, then come back to me again. Because too often it's so easy for people just to ask you to do something for you because it's just easy for them, and they don't take you into consideration. They know you can solve the issue, so they just come to you immediately.
That's why you have to be careful, because if you're good at solving things, about helping people with problems, every time they get a problem, they'll be coming to you.
Precisely.
And that's the reason why you're going to have to sometimes learn to say no.
Or otherwise empower them by saying to them, okay,
yeah,
have you really thought out how you could solve the problem? And then let them go back and try to figure it out themselves. And if they can't, then come back to me. So, but yeah, it's important, and that's a whole conversation, as I said, for the Wednesday podcast.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah,
really, that is.
You could go off at tangents on all of this stuff, and you probably could make a show of about 10 different things, 20 different things. I don't know, but so you can't control all circumstances, or very few circumstances, but you can control how you react, what you say, how you feel. Yeah, because you do control how you feel. Sometimes if you're a little bit of a low ebb, it's very hard to control, and that's why sometimes you have to learn to walk away. When you're feeling strong, if you're feeling confident, if you're feeling bold, you probably feel like you can smash through anything. Okay.
That's important, that, Paul, because if somebody's feeling fatigued, it's important point you made there. And if somebody's feeling tired and fatigued already, and now they need to try to deal with stress, it's so much more difficult to deal with it because you're not thinking clearly. You're not able to function properly. So all the thoughts that are coming to you are at that point in time not clear. They're toxic thoughts invariably. They're not coming from your inside, your inner source. They're coming from the mind, and that's not going to really serve you, because you end up thinking too much about it, and then it doesn't help anybody. So if you're in that situation where you're tired and you're fatigued, for example, like as a parent, a father or a mother or father, you home in the evening, you're exhausted, you're tired, your child or children are nagging you about something, rather than say yes or no in the moment, you just say, I'll think about it and I'll let you know. Because you can't really think clearly when you're tired and fatigued. You're not serving anybody by making a rash decision on the spot, because you're just not in that space. So, and it's the same in the business world. If you can, let me think about it. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
Especially if you're tired.
So, I mean, some of the things that we have to. Let's put it this way. There are certain things that will help you as a person. Now, the thing is, you can listen to what other people say, but you have to go out and find these things for yourself if the things that are suggested don't work for you. Okay. And obviously, being that this is HealthierLife.tv, I'm going to strongly suggest to you that exercise is one of the best things.
Yes.
And it could be just a case of going out for a short walk. Okay, so let's say you're faced with a bill that's come in that's unexpected, and it's huge. It's really got to you. Put it down. Go out for a walk. Think about it, and just switch off for a little while. Go and have a walk. Come back and deal with it again. If it's still not working, then maybe you need to speak to someone. Just saying, I've got this, and it's always great to talk about things. If I don't talk about it, I'd rather go and sit next to some water and hear water running.
Oh yeah, water's
I mean, in a stream or something like that.
Even in a bath, even if you go into the bathroom and you turn the tap on, you just close your eyes and just listen to that running water. That can help you. It doesn't have to be a stream or a river, because not everybody has that luxury. Yeah. And but just putting on a tap softly, just gently put on a tap, so it's just soft running water in the background. Close your eyes and just breathe. I have a question. What do you think are some of the more obvious destructive ways in which people deal with stress?
Destructive ways, I would say, alcohol, drugs, too much caffeine, maybe. I don't know. Depends on you as a person. Your tolerance to some of these things. Prescription medicines, or pills or things like that. I mean, you could, in theory, get involved in a toxic conversation.
Well, toxic. You create a toxic relationship sometimes through stress.
Yeah,
and it becomes an abusive relationship. It could be verbal, emotional, physical, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's look, nobody knows what goes on in a house, inside a house, and but you've got to find ways to alleviate the stress. You get what are called effective stress relievers, and you've got to find these and have a group of them ready to help you. And they're simple things. It could be singing in the bath. It could be just watching your favorite comedy program.
Humor's huge.
Or laughing at Warren. I mean, I don't know. It could be anything really. But
I'd rather watch Ricky Gervais. He makes me laugh.
yeah, but we all need stress reduction tools. And if you want something to laugh at, go and watch Ricky Gervais when he talks at the Golden Globes. Is it?
Oh yeah,
He's in the USA and he's just slaughtering everyone. I can't say any more than that, but it's worth finding it.
And on the American talk show, what's it? There's one I found today, or it came to me today on is it Jimmy Fallon?
Fallon.
Yeah, so one of the late night shows.
Yeah,
and he does, like, it's the wheel of opinion. So he spins a wheel, and it comes up on any subject, and then you got to give your opinion on that subject. And Ricky Gervais was hilarious on that. It's absolutely hilarious. But and this is the thing with comics as well, and with people in general. Humor is a great way to diffuse stress and relieve stress. And many comics themselves, they use humor as a means of diffusing their own stress levels. They learn how to be funny because they have grown up in an environment where stress is very prevalent in their lives, and they use humor as a way of deflecting that stress. Many very famous comics have come from abusive backgrounds, and they used humor to deflect from that. And in some cases, they would create their own realities in order to help alleviate that stress. So yeah, and it's been proven in hospitals as well. People lying in hospital beds in recovery, if they watch more humor, more comedies, okay, they recover a lot faster than people that lie in hospital beds watching dramas and soap operas and these kind of things. You recover much faster.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that. To be fair, when I watch television, I tend to like drama. I tend to like war films. I tend to like detective things, and that's me. And that relaxes me. Funny enough, maybe it's the background I come from. I don't know, but as you say, there's nothing beats comedy and having a laugh. It's definitely the best stress reliever I find, apart from exercise. Now, you could go down the other route. You could do Pilates, I don't know, yoga, meditation, as you mentioned, Warren. As I say, it's one we speak a lot. But what you've got to do is you've got to find some immediate things that you can grab straight away. Now, if you're doing a Pilates class, you're governed by the clock. You don't know when it's going to, you know when it's going to start. It's not going to start straight away. So you need these immediate things so that you've got something to hand that you can use all the time. And and that's very, very important. And the longer term things would be things like diet. And I'm not going to go into that today, but you then would take a look at your diet and see if that is serving you. How do you feel about your diet, Warren? Do you find that we all do things? We do things all the time where we eat something, like Warren did earlier, and it takes some of your sugars away, and you just want to go to lay down and go to sleep. Sometimes,
which is what I did for 20 minutes. Yeah.
Other times you're bouncing off the walls. Yeah. But you've got one of the big things also is staying away from people that are negative. I know it sounds very simplistic saying that, but there are people that base their life around drama and conflict and aggression, and it's okay. You can get away with it a little bit, but if your life is centered around those things all the time, you will break. Okay. The other thing,
and people pleasers typically attract individuals like that.
Yes, because they're coming down to people all the time.
Yeah.
Or just saying, what can I do to please you? Don't worry about me. And it's and it will rebound back on you. I mean, we all like to do things with people, but so you don't center your whole world around that.
I had a situation recently where there was a parent at our daughter's school who was going on about something, and it really had nothing to do with me, although it was related to the class, but it had nothing to do with me per se.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he was going on about it, and I just kept saying, well, refer back to the teacher.
Yeah.
Go speak to the teacher. Don't speak to me, because I can't do anything about it, and you're just trying to offload your stress to me. I understand the story. You told me the story, but now go talk to the teacher. And he kept coming back for more, and I was like, no, go back to the teacher, because
Yeah.
otherwise, and this is a great deflector for anybody in terms of a tool. If somebody is coming to you regularly with stressful subject matters and issues and dilemmas and drama, like you say, some people love to live in drama. Deflect it, find a way to deflect it in the situation. You don't have to be rude, but if you can start, a great NLP trick, or even not just the NLP, but a great physiology trick, is you, instead of standing facing the individual, you slowly move to the side. So if somebody comes to you and you're standing, let's say you're standing in the office kitchen, okay? Not that many of us work in offices these days, but let's just say that's the situation, okay? Or you're even talking to somebody on Zoom or Skype or whatever, and this person's ranting off at you about something, blah, 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 and they're just putting stress on your shoulders and you feel like your head's about to explode. Just move the camera to the side, or just turn your body to the side. And what you're doing is you're deflecting that energy. You're not allowing that energy to hit you head on. And as you start to turn, that person subconsciously starts to get the message, and they will slow down, then they will calm down, and then they will get busy doing their own thing again. And this is a great tool that I use with people when they are like that. I just turn away, almost, but not rude, but I just turn. And eventually the person has no one to talk to. I'm still facing them, but they feel like they get the message subconsciously that I'm not there to take their BS.
Mm-hmm.
And it diffuses the situation. And that can be even used in a heated discussion or argument, for that matter. You just turn yourself away from that person slowly but surely. So you're deflecting that energy. That energy will literally bounce off you and go somewhere else, rather than standing face on and then just absorbing all of that. So yeah, there's a little tip for people there. Useful tip.
I think some good points there. I mean, I just think that you really should ask yourself a few questions. If you're going down the route of too much stress, and how is this stress affecting me?
Mm-hmm.
What is it doing to me?
Mm-hmm.
How can I change things? What's within my control and what isn't?
Mm-hmm. And food is within your control. Going back to the food just now, you mentioned, Christmas, over this festive period, Christmas and New Year's, so many people get stressed out. Not necessarily because it's a busy time. Yes, that is a factor, but it's also because of the foods that we're eating. People are eating foods rich in sugars, processed carbohydrates, processed fats, all kinds of there. And I mean, I'm at fault. I enjoy festive food as well. I do. I love festive food, but I also am able to control my stress levels. And when the average person who starts off unhealthy they move into the Christmas festive period, and they start to eat all these rubbish foods. Okay.
Yeah.
That you only find, other than Brussels sprouts, which you only find around Christmas time. But they're eating all that sugary stuff, processed things, and then they wonder why they're getting more stress, because when you're doing that to your body's not able to cope with stress.
No.
The moment any stress enters into your space, your sugar levels, your adrenal levels, your everything is just out of whack. It's out of sync, and therefore you don't know how to deal with it. So food is a major factor. Now that we're over the Christmas period, there's no excuses. But don't go full hog and go cold turkey on yourself. Just take it one step at a time, and slowly start to freshen up that system, freshen up the body, detox the system, slowly but surely, one step at a time, detox that body, detox the body, detox the body. And the cleaner your system is, you'll notice that easier it is to deal with stress. It's become so much easier to deal with stress.
Sounds good. So the other question I was going to say was, will anything change if I worry about it? And I think, you could word that question many different ways, but that's one of the questions you should ask yourself.
It'll only get worse.
How am I going to feel if I keep accepting all this crap? It's just, there's loads of ways you can ask the question. So now we're going to keep this under 30 minutes today, so we've not got too much longer. But one thing I wanted to talk to you about, we've never spoken to you before. Warren, have you ever heard of guided imagery?
I have heard of. I mean, I can't tell you in reference what you're talking about, what it is. No.
Okay. Well, we've spoken about it in a way before when we've talked about, visualizing. Let's say if you're a high jumper in the Olympics, visualizing the perfect jump, or a basketball player visualizing putting the perfect basket in and things like that. But you could try this yourself. Guided imagery is like taking a holiday in your mind, and it can involve thinking about your happy place. You've heard that mentioned many times, and and you can picture yourself maybe sitting on a beach if that's what turns you on, listening to the waves or listen to the tap. Smelling the it's always got a pungent smell to it if you think about it. The ocean.
Yes.
It could be just feeling the sand, underneath your feet. And as I say, it's all about being at peace. And you can go on from there. So you could simply close your eyes for a minute and visualize yourself walking through that peaceful scene. So, and I've been led to believe that it works. So just try to find out how you get on. So
there's two things to this as well. Two important things. And when I feel like I go into my own space as well, and I have a very, very lucid and vivid memory of an experience that I had that just brings me to peace. It just takes me to love, and that's it. And that's all I need. So if I am feeling overwhelmed or stressed, I just, like you say, I go through that. It's not even a guided imagery because it's an experience that I had, and I just remember that experience, and it just takes me back to love and to peace. Now, if you do this, whatever that picture is for you, if you do it for at least 17 seconds, it's going to have an impact on you, psychologically speaking. It will change your state. But if you can do it for as long as a minute, okay, now this is the crux, because 90% of people at least cannot hold a single thought for at least a minute. Think about that for a second, not a minute. But if you can hold that imagery in your head, or that picture, or that video in your head for a minute, the changes that you will do to your body, physiologically speaking, the changes that you will make will be, boom, mind-blowing. Just for a minute, hold that thought and see what happens to you. Your whole space will change.
Right. Now, listen, we're running out of time here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let you finish for us, Warren, and see us to the end.
Thank you, Paul. So again, for those of you that didn't catch us in the beginning or are watching this at the end, or if you have made it through the whole video, congratulations, well done. Thank you for sticking with us. We trust you got something out of this. However, Paul and I, we want to work with 6 people this month. We want to identify 6 individuals through this month. And there's a reason why 6, because we want to work with 3 each, and we want to focus, put all our attention and focus onto each individual that's working with us. And we have a secret. I mean, it's an open secret, so to speak, but it's a secret that we're aware of, that many people are not aware of, that will help you to improve your health exponentially. And on top of that, you can do this for free. So, and it's all natural, it's safe. There's no woo-woo about it. We want to work with 3 people and actually guide you through the process, take you through the journey together with us. And as I touched on the beginning, look, being healthy is an expensive thing nowadays. Typically, invariably, it's very expensive for us to have a healthy standard of living. And medical bills are on the increase, medical covers on the increase all the time. But there are people that have found a way to do it for free, and we would like to share that secret with you. Okay.
Sounds good to me.
That's my 2 bobs worth.
Sign me up.
Sign me up. Yeah. Yay. I got my first person for January.
Great.
All right, folks.
Lovely. So we've ending the call now. We've just gone slightly over what we wanted to do. So have a fantastic 2021. If you need any help health-wise or business-wise, give us a shout. So we'll speak to you soon.
Have an outstanding weekend. See you next Friday.
See you later.
Bye now.
Bye.